they've been in front of us, and by doing that, God will be pleased with us. That's the nature of this religion. It's about respect. It's about character. It's about behavior. So Islam is not a foreign. It's not something foreign. It's not something extreme. It's not something on the outside. It's not you and us. That's not what it is. It's for the world. It is the final revelation. The Quran is a book of 6,626 verses. And in it, there is a remembrance about Moses and Abraham and David and Solomon and John the Baptist and Jesus Christ and all the prophets, a reminder about them. It's a story about human beings in there. It is a revelation from God. It is an inspiration from God. It is a legislation from God. That's what the Quran is, and it is a final revelation. You will not find any book like it. You go home tonight and put in Encyclopedia Britannica. Let it pop up. Then after that, put the word Quran in there. Put the word Islam in there. Put the word Muhammad in there. And see what the authorities who have compiled the Encyclopedia Britannica, what they say. Because they're objective. You don't have to say the Khalid said, that guy who was talking said. See what the Encyclopedia Britannica says. This is an objective source of information. More than 347 different scholars from all different walks of life have collaborated on this source of knowledge called Encyclopedia Britannica. See what they say about the Quran. They said that it is the only alleged revelation that has come to a human being that has remained intact since he brought it. That's what they said. They say it is one of the most phenomenal books of literature in the entire world, for it has made some prophecies that came about, and Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, he couldn't have known that. The Quran says, وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ إِذَا مُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ. How the Prophet knew that. How do he know that the sun and the moon both follow an ordered course for it? How they know? How do you know they were revolving? وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ إِذَا مُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ, that it is in order, a taqdeer, a qadr from Aziz al-Alim. The Prophet didn't know that. He wasn't no astronomer. He had one of them telescopes like Hubble. How did the Prophet know that inside the womb of the mother that the child is hanging from a clot? How did he know that? The Quran said, and verily we have created you from nutfa. What nutfa in Arabic means? Sperm. After nutfa, the Quran says it becomes alaq, a clot, and alaq means something hanging. So how did the Prophet know that after the sperm enters, it becomes a zygote, and then after that it becomes alaq, clinging to the womb and then hanging? How did he know that? The Quran already called it that. How did the Quran know that after it became that, it becomes something called mudgha? Something looked like it had been chewed. And if you look at the embryo, when it is about 6 weeks, 5 weeks, it is looking like what? A chewed piece of flesh. Then after that, the Quran says it becomes a lump of flesh clothed with the skin. The Quran said that. Then it said after that, we give to it its features. It gives its features, its eyes, its ears, its brain, its spine, it gives its pancreas, its liver. It gives all the features and systems come within how many weeks? 14 weeks, 16 weeks. The Quran gave that system. And then after that, he said that it becomes shay'un akhar, another creature. Means fully formed. So the Quran, it gave the stages of embryo, it gave the embryological stages inside the womb. How does the Prophet know that? He had no stethoscope. He had no ultrasound. But the Quran said that. How did the Quran say, verily we have created everything from water? What has been discovered now? What's the whole world made of? Gas. And what is the basic composite of water? H2O. How the Quran, how do you know that? How the Quran said, called the sun Shams, called the light of the sun wahaj, and called the light of the moon munira. Munira means reflection. It does not have its own light. Wahaj means burning bright. So how did the prophet know that the sun was burning bright and that the moon had no light of its own, but that it was a reflection, munira? How do you know that? I could give you 37. Thank you, brother. Give everybody else some water, too. I could give you at least 37 statements in the Quran, and 23 of them have just been discovered in the last 40 years. And this is not what Khalid said. You'll find that in the writings of mustashriqeen, Orientalists, who have studied the Quran in the Arabic language and said, it's a book like no other book. We don't know how the Prophet could have said that. That's why Keith Moore, an embryologist, he said, after he read the Quran and he saw what the Quran said about the creation of the human being, he said, I have to believe Muhammad couldn't have said that. He couldn't have seen that. He couldn't have known that. He had to receive it from somewhere. So where he received it from? He couldn't receive it from no men. Nobody could have collaborated with him. There was nobody at that time who could have known that. The only way he could have known that is that it was revealed to him. Who was it revealed by? Creator. So I say to all of you good people here who are non-Muslims, you need to read the Quran. Read it. It's open for you. And now you've got no excuse. You don't have to say, well, I don't have a Quran. I don't know where to get a Quran. If you've got a computer, you can read the Quran on your computer. And if you don't have a computer home, still got no excuse. You go to the public library. See? So everyone has a chance to read the Quran. Either you say to yourself after you read it, this is a book that seems like this is a book from God. Or you can say, no, I don't believe that book. I don't believe that at all. I'm going to follow some other book. That's up to you. Read about the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, and I'll tell you about him. There's a couple of statements I want to make to you, and you can compare. I'll say to you that there's no other human being in the annals of history that can compare categorically with him.